Alrighty, so I'm going to be showing you all, this is the Deanna Durbin collection, which is a different story. That'll be filmed for something else, but this is going to be the first time I'm really sharing any of the Jobyna stuff with anybody. A lot of the stuff I inherited is on the wall. This came in frames. And let me see, I know you all can't see it. That's her with Bing Crosby. If it'll focus, there we go, and his son Dixie. His wife Dixie and their son Gary and my friend Rick. This is what I inherited a lot. Okay, I'm very hesitant on sharing this with all of you, but I feel that since my book is coming out in about a couple months, you might as well get the chance to see what I inherited. This is my favorite picture, like, ever. It's literally my favorite. Okay, let me move this. Okay, this is a rare print. This is a print that most people have seen. This is worth about $200, but there's not going anywhere. This is Rick's baby picture. So Rick and I knew each other very well. And after he passed away, a year actually after he passed away, I got a letter from his friend, basically saying, hey, you're getting this. You're getting a lot of his stuff. And there's Rick. There's Rick when he was born, and this is Arlen's signature here. Let's see here. Let's get to the Jobyna stuff, shall we? Okay, so this is a rare picture here. I'm not sure who the other two are, but there's Jobyna. Alright, and there's my friend Rick. This is a Polaroid. This is May 1938. Camera Mart. Hollywood. Okay, let's get to the good parts here. This is a negative. I've actually had it developed. Whoops. I'm gonna ruin it. It's Rick and Joby. This is Rick when he was little. Okay, here are the prints that are kind of rare. This was taken by Kaufman, I believe. I forgot who took this picture. Corman? Oh, photo by Carzy. Even though Corman took a lot of photos of her like this. So these are proofs. These are the photos that they were looking at before they go to print, I guess. This is one of my favorite pictures. I have a second copy of this picture, which is actually on my desk and framed. Aha! Here's a famous photo of her. This is a print. This is the photo I sent him. He kept that. That was actually the letter, that was actually the photo I sent in my first letter to him, to her son. That's how we connected. This is Joby. I don't really care about the Harold Lloyd Corporation. This is when Rick was just born in May 1933. There's some clippings. This is Rick. This is one of my favorite pictures of him. This is a tune, I guess. Okay, here's the famous photo of her. This is a print. This is an original. I know somebody who would love to have that, and this one. Everybody has seen this picture. And I couldn't believe Rick had kept all these for many years. There's Richard Arlen. I don't really care because I don't really like him very much. This is a card from Bing Crosby's family. Alright, we have Rick right there. video. This is why I don't share it with people very often. Okay. And then we have a photo here. And we have, this is her hometown. This is the marker that they have, which I've seen it. Her house used to be on this side. Hi, Danita. Okay, so I'm not sure who these two other women are, but this is one of my favorite pictures. Okay. This is also another letter he kept from me. And this was 2015. I couldn't believe he'd kept my letters, or at least a lot of them. This is when Rick was just born. Here's another proof. And these are some of the publicity photos of when Rick was born. Another negative. There's Rick. And Rick is right here. I can tell by the smile. Rick was in the Marines. Sorry, if you hear like that, it's a ball bouncing. I've got a puppy. That's him when he was born. There's Rick's school photo. I think he was 10 here. There's Rick and Richard. I love Jobyna's face in this photo. Oh my god, it's such a mood. And there's Rick. This is Helen Twelvedress. And I forgot who the other woman was, but they all had babies at the same time. And then we have, if I can get this to focus better. Then we have Rick, Arlen, and we have Joby. And then we have Jobyna and Rick. Okay, so that's the first. Then we have a publicity still, and that's part of the first batch. This was a part of the first box that I got. Okay, and I'll show you the other things I have. Okay. We have a photo here. Kept my letter. This is a letter I wrote to him almost seemed a long time ago. I don't live at the address anymore. Obviously not. Okay. Okay. This is information here. Ah, here's the most famous photo of her. Okay. Alright, the next two things that I received in the first box are scrapbooks. There are two of them. One I received in the first box. Actually, no, these two I received in the second box. It was this I received in the first box, which we'll get to last, because this is the hardest thing for me to look at. So this is a scrapbook that she did not make, but was made for her by the studio. And this is something I haven't shown to anyone. Actually, well, let me be more specific. Very few people have seen this. Very few people have seen The Inheritance, just because this is hard for me to look at. And it's hard for me to look at because I miss Rick very much. Let's see, let me get to the good part in here. There was a note in here, and she read it. This is all about her career in the picture business. Okay, sit. Okay. So the studios had put this together for her. She did not do this herself. And the reason I know this is because Colleen Moore's niece actually has Colleen's scrapbooks. And I've seen them because she lent them to me. And they were the exact same book and the exact same pressing. So what they would do is back then they would grab these big scrapbooks like this, and they would look through anything with her name in it. This thing wasn't, unlike, I'm going to explain why it's not finished. These are beautiful in here. We have some rare photographs in here from her time in pictures with Harold Lloyd. Harold Lloyd was not a great human being to her, and her son told me some very unflattering things that are pretty bad. This is sort of a common photo. This is a very big common photo. This one you can get on Getty Images for like 500 bucks, but I have a copy of it. Here's her in a tree. And there's her husband, who we really don't care about. Okay, then there's her at her house. This is actually in her home in Toluca Lake, California. Okay, now I gotta do it this way. Okay. This was also a career, this was also a scrapbook, but this is their marriage scrapbook, as I like to call it. Because it involves her and her husband, Richard Arlen, at the time. But Richard Arlen decided to be an idiot and cheat on her and go being a bigamist, so that was fun. It's got a lot of, just like Jobyna's, but a lot of his. I'm just trying to skip over his because I really don't care about him. And then there's Arlen. Okay. Okay, this one's cute. So, you know, they have things together like them going fishing, or them playing skipping rope or something, or them together. But it's mostly about him, which I wasn't all too keen about. But there's her. That's a photo there as well. Okay, there's her. Okay, oh, there's the original picture right there. And there's them together. And this is a rare photograph right here, and she signed it. That's her handwriting there. And there's some photographs of her right there. And some pictures of her with Charles Farrell. Because Arlen and her were good friends. That's a picture I really like. Okay, and then they have, that's a beautiful picture of her. And this is a picture I've actually seen a copy of. I love it. And that's her. Okay. There's a photo of them together. Photos of him, like we really care. Here's their engagement photos. Okay, so that's basically the second scrapbook. This thing weighs a ton. And the last thing I really want to share with you guys is the baby. Alrighty, this is going to be the hardest thing for me to look at, but we'll look at it together. This is Rick's baby book. It's falling apart. Okay. There are some photographs in here. This is Rick. I think there's 2 photographs in here. Yeah, there's 2 copies of the same picture. I don't know why. And that's Rick when he was a baby. This is wallpaper. I'm not sure why it was in here. I don't know who that is. I think that's Jobyna's dad. There's Rick. See, this book is falling apart, so I have to be very careful. This is her handwriting. Richard Ralston Arlen, that was his name. age 9 days, made at Calgary Lebanon Hospital or something. I can't read her writing. Okay. Richard Ralston, Arlen, that's his name. This is when he was just born. She looks so happy. Okay. Richard Ralston, Jack Jr., Helen Travis, Jobyna Ralston, and Arlene Judge. That's who the third one was. I couldn't remember. This is one of my favorite pictures. She's so happy. It's the same picture, but it was stuck in here. Here are the Polaroids. There's Ricky. There's Who Cares? There's Sweet Rick when he was just a baby. And there's Rick. And there's Rick. And Joby, age 4 weeks. Here are really the most personal photos. This one's one of my personal favorites. This is their home. And Jobyna kind of hated water, so I found it really ironic that they had a swimming pool. And there's her, and there's her. I love this. That picture, she just loves it. So here's her. There's Rick. There's Rick. And there's her. And Gary Crosby. So I told you they knew the Crosbys very well. They were very, very dear friends. Here are more Polaroids of their personal life, which I think is really wonderful. There's some photos of Rick with his dad, who kind of abandoned him. There's her with a camera. Okay, let's get to the important stuff. This is Polaroid here, and a picture of them. Picture of them there. Rick's birthday party, or a birthday party. There's Rick right there. This is another photo of kind of my favorite. It's a different photo shoot of the photo I liked. So you have to be very careful with this because this is falling apart. This is my favorite page. This is her. One of my favorite pictures of Rick. And that's my inheritance. The other stuff I inherited were home movies, and the other stuff is actually somewhere. I'll have to find it. But anyway, this is the most important stuff that I know people would want, but it's not going anywhere. It's mine.